Hello, I will be demoing the flexible plug load application shown in this icon here. This is the home screen of the application. It shows any upcoming demand response events. If I click the settings button over here, it allows me to configure my power strip to my particular liking. The first slider at the top here says participate in DR. If I choose to participate in demand response events, I'll keep the slider turned on, and I will receive notifications about upcoming demand response events and will be able to automate my ports during these events. If slid off, I will not receive any of these notifications and I will not be able to participate in these demand response events with my particular power strip. The second slider says accept admin strategy. If slid on, my power strip will be reverted to the administrator's decided strategies. Right here we have my particular power strip that's assigned to me, and we have 4 different outlets corresponding to the 4 different outlets on the power strip. So the first outlet corresponds to outlet number 1, and here, as you can see, we have different settings that we can set for each particular outlet. The first checkbox is for present space energy savings. If I am currently away from my area for a particular amount of time, then my outlet will turn off. However, when I return to my area, my outlet will automate back on with this present space energy saving strategy. I am then allowed to choose power down or for power down demand response events. I am able to participate with 2 different strategies, the first being not present spaced. This means that my Powerport will turn off during demand response events regardless of my presence. The second option is present spaced power down participation. This means that my power outlet will not turn off if I am present during the power down event. However, if I am away during the power down event, the outlet will turn off. At the bottom, we also have power up demand response strategies and participation. The first is for disabling rules. This will allow users to turn off their time schedule rules that they set for their particular power strip. The second setting is energize port. This will allow users to turn on their particular outlet during the power up event, and the outlet will automate back off when the power up event is concluded. So for each particular outlet on the power strip, you can have individual settings. And at the bottom here, we have the away after time setting. This setting decides the timeout time required before the present space energy savings is automated. So right now I have it set to 10 minutes. If I'm away from my desk for more than 10 minutes, my power outlet will turn off. If I am away from my desk for, let's say, 5 minutes, my Powerport will stay on. I can then save my settings, and then these settings will be reflected in the power strip. This is the particular power strip that we will be automating. As you can see here, there are LEDs corresponding to each outlet. Right here we have the number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. When these outlets are turned on, there will be a green LED shown on each of these buttons. However, when the outlets are off, and I can turn them off with this button, as you can see, the outlet has no LED shown. This is in the on position, and this is it in the off position. These correspond to the settings that we can automate on the application. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I will now demonstrate the present space energy saving strategies. So I can choose these strategies for each of the particular outlets. Right now I want to automate only outlets number 2, 3, and 4. So to do that, I'll choose outlet number 2. I've selected present space energy savings. Outlet number 3, I have also selected present space energy savings. and outlet number 4, I also have present space energy saving selected. I will then choose my away after time. As you can see right now, it's set to 5 minutes, which means that when I'm away from this area for 5 minutes, my ports will automate. I'll then click Save, and I will leave the area. As you can see here, we have the outlets all in the on position. From my settings, we would expect outlets number 2, 3, and 4 to be turned off due to my lack of presence. As you can see, about 5 minutes later, outlets 2, 3, and 4 are now turned off. This corresponds to our settings that we have set earlier. I will now demonstrate what happens when I return to the area with my phone. So I have my phone back here, and as you can see, the outlets turned on pretty much immediately. Outlets number 2, 3, and 4. This demonstrates the present space energy saving strategies. I will now demonstrate the power down demand response strategies. As you can see here on the home screen, we have a power down event coming up. When I click it, it shows the information, and it shows that the power down event will happen at 4:40. Now if I click the settings, I'll decide how I want to participate. For part number 1, I'll decide not to participate, so I do not choose any of the checkboxes. Port number 2, I decide I want to participate in the power down event as not present spaced. So this means that the port will power down regardless of my presence. For port number 3, I decide I want to participate in the present space method. This means that the port will not turn off if my phone is present. And for the 4th outlet, I'll also decide to participate in the not present space strategy. I'll then save my strategies, settings, and then I'll wait for the power down event to occur. For this power down event, we would expect outlets number 2 to be automated off during the time frame. Due to its not present spaced strategy that was selected, port number 3 should stay on due to its present space strategy selected, and port number 4 should also automate off because of its not present spaced strategy settings for my outlet. As you can see, my phone is currently present. As you can see, the time is now 4:40, which is when the demand response event is selected. And as you can see, ports number 2 and number 4 were automated off as expected. Now we will demonstrate the same demand response event, however with my phone not present. So as we can see here, we have another power up event. This is scheduled at 4:47. And if we click the settings, we have the same settings as before. So power 1, or outlet number 1, we are not participating in. Outlet number 2, we have the power down not present space settings selected, so this port should be automated off. Outlet number 3, we have the power down present space strategies selected, so this outlet should also be turned off when my phone leaves the area. And outlet number 4, we have power down not present space settings selected. So in this instance, we should have outlets number 2, 3, and 4 both automated off during this time period. I will then move out of the area with my phone. the time is now 4:47, which is the start of the demand response event, and as you can see, outlets number 2, 3, and 4 automated off as expected. When the demand response event finishes within the next minute, these outlets will automate back on. It is now the end of the demand response event, and as you can see, outlets 4, 3, and 2 are turned back on. I will now demonstrate the power up strategies. As you can see here, we have a power up event coming up at 5 p.m. as shown here, and I'll configure my settings for my Powerport. So for outlet number 1, I decide I do not want to participate in this event, so I do not check anything. Outlet number 2, I want to energize the port, so I select Power Up Energize Port. Outlet number 3, I also want to participate, so I choose Power Up Energize Port again. Outlet number 4, I also choose to power up and energize the port. I'll then save my strategies. As you can see, the power strip right now, all the ports are in the off position. And due to my settings, I would expect port outlets number 2, 3, and 4 to be turned on during the power up demand response event. These ports should then turn off when the power up event finishes. As you can see, the time is now 5 p.m., which is the start of the power up event. And as you can see, outlets number 2, 3, and 4 turn on as expected. At the end of the power up event, which should happen within 1 minute, these outlets will then automate off. As you can see, it is now the end of the power up event, and ports 2, 3, and 4 have returned to the off position. That concludes the demonstration of the mobile app.